Hello everybody, it's Dante here. Welcome to another video from my travels, but this time we're in Singapore at the awesome KF1 Crangi. They have a great set of rental karts here, as you can see the Sodi RT10s, and I read a lot of good stuff about this track online, but the question was, how good really was it? Oh yes, it's that time again guys and girls to do what I love to do the most, and that is hitting up the local tracks abroad from where I'm staying. We took a taxi to the entrance of this kart track, a very ropey looking entrance, but lo and behold it was actually the right place. As you can see, we are walking alongside the track here. We are essentially walking in the pit lane. Well, the next step was to find the check-in area. Now I headed up upstairs where it seemed to be the offices, the podium and the air-cooled areas and the spectator areas, but I was wrong. It was actually downstairs right next to the pit lane, not something that I'm used to. But nonetheless, we gave the slow karts a go first, and we're going to get some initial reaction to what we actually thought of it. Hello everyone, we're here at KF1 Kranji. Now I already did a session in their fun karts. Yeah, let's just say they were very slow. So I was like, look, I'm not driving these fun karts anymore, they're too slow. So we're driving these instead. Let's see how we get on. I think with the track already, it's actually very bumpy in places. Very bumpy actually. There's some areas where I'm hopping like crazy. I don't really know how to manage it. I'm just trying different things on the brakes, trying different things with the steering. So yeah, just trying to get used to the track really. It is a mega track, it's like over a minute long as well, so it's very long. You know, if they actually did big events here, like proper big events, maybe like annual events in these karts, then yeah, I mean, I'd totally do it. I'd come out just for this. They're really good karts, quite fast, faster than the UK ones. At least they feel it. 390cc, all exactly the same, but I don't know, they just seem to have a lot more power at the end of the straights. But yeah, let's see how we go on with our second session. Right, let's get on with it then. And on that note, take a minute to appreciate the fit. I definitely felt like a bit of a bandit.
All right, we're rocking the trainers, so we're not going to have very good pedal grip, but whatever.
Okay, so here we go at KF1 Crangi, Singapore's pretty much only outdoor track now, which is very sad, but we will get to that in a moment. And yeah, we're just going to kind of look at this track initially, see what we think. There's a few bumpy areas here, but you know, first thoughts is this track isn't too narrow. It's actually quite well spaced. There's some reasonable curbs here. Some are useful, some are not useful. There's a few box standard hairpins, but overall it's a fairly interestingly designed track. You can see again here, really opens up very nicely, so overtaking opportunities are plenty, and also it means that trying to defend around this track is not always that straightforward because the undercut can be very powerful. You do have this very fun chicane, jumping on these curbs, using the extra tarmac here to really utilize your exit speed. I mean, I enjoyed the track, and then, you know, just to top it off, you have this fun little section here, hook the curb on the left, chuck it in the right. You do struggle a bit for understeer, but overall, I mean, this track is a very well designed, and they also do run the track in both directions, which I think is very interesting and provides a nice change for the members as well every now and again. Now, we weren't the only ones actually on the circuit. We did actually share the track with the owner karts. You may have just seen a glimpse of an owner kart catching us to the right hand side there, and yeah, kind of being out on track with them. I mean, the difference in speed is just enormous, so you're having to look out for that constantly. You can see we're going to pull over to the left here. This was actually the slower owner car out the two that we were sharing the track with. Young kid here, and I mean, they're just absolutely powering away out of the corners. There's no way we're keeping up with that, but it also means that we kind of have to keep half an eye on where they are, because they will just surprise us out of nowhere, and you can't always trust that they're going to be overtaken cleanly. They may expect us to just get out of the way because we're in the slower karts. But yeah, nonetheless, well, these karts themselves, obviously we did the fun karts first, which was so slow. It was actually unbelievable. I can't believe I wasted my time with that, but these karts obviously much better when it comes to rental karts. The karts themselves, I mean, obviously they have the usual adjustable seat and pedals. You can see the Velcro on the steering wheel for timing screens. Now I assume they use their own timing screens, maybe the Sodi timing screens, which would be great for in the race, especially for competitive races, you know, gap ahead, gap behind, that sort of thing. They've also got a weight box as well, which is very useful for running such events, and is always good for you know, making it an even playing field, as long as the karts are even, of course. And with that, these karts actually weren't that old. I do believe they were quite new, maybe even only a couple months old. I'm not too sure, maybe a local could correct me. But considering that this track is on the list to eventually be obsolete, I mean it's going to be disappearing soon, I'm quite surprised they invested in a new fleet of karts. Now that maybe they needed to upgrade the fleet, maybe they plan on selling them, I really don't know. But nonetheless, I thought they were very comfortable to drive. This car that I drove was completely straight, and I had no issues with that. It was more a case of trying to get used to the track. Obviously these Sodi karts are present everywhere in the world pretty much. The UK, we know these karts very well. So it was good to just be able to focus on the track, and if you know how to drive a Sodi, you'll be able to drive it anywhere. It's a very specific style. There's a lot of trail braking going along, a lot of easing it into the corner, a lot of slow loading up the wheel as well. I mean, for me, it's just a style that I like. But yeah, there you go. We are about to get caught up by another owner driver, and they are going to make us look like we are sitting still. I think there was an opportunity for us to actually try an owner kart this day, but it was quite knackering, to be honest. But yeah, we've got another owner kart driver catching up, and it's so funny because these karts, you know, they're not that loud, but you can hear the roar of a two-stroke engine flying up, catching you down really. For example, coming out this corner, I could hear him lock the brakes. I'm like, yeah, he's right on my tail now. And you know, I don't know if they expect you to get out of the way, whether they expect you to hold your line. I thought I'd just be a gentleman, but I mean, how unbelievable is that they're allowing us to be on track with them at the same time. I can only imagine if there were more karts on track at the same time. Look, it's so more relaxed abroad than it is in the UK. You'd never get that in the UK, I wouldn't have thought. But nonetheless, yeah, we're not exactly going to be trying to copy his line or follow him around. You can see he's already like nearly 2 corners ahead now. It's absolutely crazy. I can only imagine how physical that must be, because you know there's not actually a lot of time to kind of rest around this track in the Sodi karts anyway, so yet alone the owner karts, I have absolutely no idea what it must feel like. You can see we're still kind of looking out for the owner karts while still trying to make our own improvements. I mean, we're just kind of pushing our braking spot later into the corners, just trying to be a bit more smooth on the wheel. There are kind of 3 areas even, that where you can really make the time. One of them was right here, where you jump on the curb, and as you land, you then feed the steering wheel. So you kind of use the way it lands on the track to help turn the kart for that corner. That stopped it from bouncing as badly. And then obviously that last corner, dealing with the understeer, you kind of had just to feed the kart in, use the brake to help you. It was a good challenge. I've got to be, it was a good challenge, and I was absolutely itching to have a race with someone in these karts, but unfortunately it's not really the right time. There's no one really there. It's during the day on a weekday, no one was going to be there. But nonetheless, this circuit, as I say, it will disappear soon. It's planning on being knocked down for reusing it for land or housing purposes. I don't know what the government wants to do with it, but nonetheless they're planning on getting rid of it. And is there much hope for this place? I don't know, probably not, considering they've already shut down KF1 Expo, so another KF1 track. They shut them in 2023. There was another track called the Karting Arena that got shut down in 2024. They clearly don't care. They're going to shut this down as well, but then what are they going to have? They literally have an indoor track, a lot more south in Singapore. I think it's called a Hyperdrive, something like that, but they have nothing else. I genuinely do not know what Singaporean drivers are meant to do. You know, the only track, there's another track actually just in Malaysia, just barely away from Singapore, but that's indoor as well. I do really feel sorry for people in Singapore who are going to lose all their kart tracks. Suddenly there's no reason to really be there, especially as this track also promotes and runs owner karting as well. Where are they going to go? I mean, you have to be literally a full-on international driver now to actually be able to run your own car. I think that's ridiculous. Also, Singapore, they have their Grand Prix. They're promoting the F1 Grand Prix. It gets more expensive every year, becomes more exclusive every year, yet they're not supporting the grassroots of racing. At least that's what I think, and I think that's really, really sad. In the UK, we have well over 100 tracks. I'm sure Yet in Singapore, I mean, of course it's a much smaller place, but it went from having a couple of tracks to suddenly having no tracks at all, apart from the odd indoor track here and there. It's a sad time for Singapore. It's such a shame because I think it's a great country. There's clearly a lot of talented drivers who are there. You know, it's a small population, sure, but yeah, I think it's just sad. But overall, we're just making the most of it, just enjoying the track while we're here. We don't know if we'll be able to come back again. But yeah, it's a very warm country, very humid country. Singapore, it can have sudden rainfalls out of nowhere, and it can really catch you off guard. I can only imagine the wet races this track must have run, and how difficult it must be, especially with just the unpredictable weather. I wouldn't even bother with a wetsuit with the climate in Singapore. If it rains, you're going to get wet. There's nothing that is going to save you from that. But otherwise, I thought I got really comfortable with the track. I thought it was a load of fun. Really, I think the only thing that this track is lacking is a bit of elevation, I guess. I think it's quite flat, but we can't get too picky, I guess. But we are going to finish on a few thoughts that I had immediately after finishing the sessions. Anyways, I had fun. If this place KF1 ever did any big member events, then count me in. I'd be well up for doing that. I always love competition. You know, when you're going around out there on your own, like, it's good fun, like learning the track, seeing how quickly you can get used to a track. That's the most fun thing for me. There's just a few things which I would have liked to have tried, but you know, there's more time, and I didn't really. I think I'm a bit knackered as it is. I haven't been in a kart for a while, so yeah. We enjoyed ourselves. I know what to try for next time, so but I'm going to keep that in here. Well, let's hope there is a next time. I will keep my fingers crossed that this track remains open. I think it would be a real shame for Singapore to lose all of their tracks. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and see you soon.